everybody, welcome to Logix. This is another little training video. This one's going to be fast, I promise. So let's say you got a court order saying that one parent has to pay the other for child support or spousal support, and the judge says this is the amount that has to be paid, and then you go home and nobody's paying you anything. So the best way to do it is to do an income withholding order for support. The only way this form will work is if the person paying or the person ordered to pay is working for an employer. If they're self-employed or work for cash, this will not work. This is only if they're getting wages from an employer. Okay, let's begin. So this date, you could put the date that you are filling it out. And then here, income withholding, we're checking if it's the first time you're doing it. If you have done it before and the judge made different orders, you went to court later, you can amend it and do a new one. Okay, so this is the one you do. And then here on this box here, it says court ordered because all the others don't apply. And then what state is the order coming from? California, as we are filming in California. And then, of course, I'm just going to create a scenario just to demonstrate this. The person filling out the form that is requesting the amount to be paid is the person filling out this form. So we're just going to create a person, Cindy Smith. Readmittance number, you don't have to worry about. Order ID, you don't worry. And this case ID is like, you would look at your court documents. What's your case number? Your court case number. That would be the number you would put here. I'm just putting a random number. You go ahead and put yours. And then here it says employer, what company is the obligor employed by. So the name of the company, so let's just say Starbucks. And then if you don't know the employer's address, make sure you are putting the payroll department. And some people, it's like the HR department. We would just put payroll department. You could do it that way. And then if you don't know, you could search up, especially if it's like a big company like Starbucks. I'm sure they have their payroll department address online somewhere. Let's just assume it's a PO box or something. Okay, I'm just putting some random address. This is not a real address, obviously. So go ahead and look for that and then put in the correct address. And then here, obligee or employee or obligor is the person that is ordered to pay the support amount. So let's say John Smith. And then, so of course, last name first and middle. John Smith T, for example. You don't have to put the full middle name. And then here, the social security number. If you don't know the social security number of the person, or if you know the last 4 digits, it's fine as well. If you don't know it at all, that's fine. You could leave it blank. And then, of course, the birth date of the obligor. I'm just going to make up some date here. And then this would be the name of the person that is requesting this garnishment. Because basically you already have an order and you're just asking for the court to make a garnishment. You cannot fill out this wage garnishment form if the court has not made an order. You cannot just say the other person needs to pay me child support or spousal support and I'm going to fill out this form. It has to be a court order. Otherwise the judge won't sign this. Okay, so then if there's children involved and it's for child support, then we're going to put the names of the children. I'm just going to put one child just to give the example here, obviously. Okay. And then, of course, you can list as many children as you have in this case. And then this is California as well. So just follow along. If I'm going too fast, you can always pause and rewind and rewatch. And then here, what I did as a convenience, I'm going to, of course, have these fillable forms available for you to download. In the description box below, you can find out where to download it. I created this form because if you find the online form through the courts, they don't have auto calculate, and I created this where it will auto calculate the total, and then it's also going to do the breakdown, and I'll show you how that works. So let's say the judge ordered $500 a month for child support, and let's say $350 for spousal support, for example. And as you can see, it is totaled out to $850, and it's always per month. The court always does monthly stuff. They do not do yearly unless it's a lump sum. So let's say it's $850 a month, right? Based on this scenario. So down here in these 4 boxes, as you can see, there's some numbers filled out, right? As you can see here. And these numbers are based on a breakdown. This is for the employer to know how much to garnish based on the way the employee gets paid. So if their employee gets paid semi-monthly, then you will get $425 from each check to total out the $850. That's the easy breakdown. But then there's the weekly here. So if weekly, So if weekly they get paid weekly, then you will get paid $196.30 a month, and then bi-weekly is $392.61 a month. So, I'm sorry, bi-weekly, you won't get that much, which will ultimately total up to the $850. But you don't have to worry about if the breakdown's correct, because I did the formula, so you guys don't have to worry about calculating this correctly. This is only for the employer to know how much to take out per check. So I made that for your convenience. Okay, let's move on. Second page. And here, of course, since we filled it out in the first form about the name of the employer, and then of course the obligor, the person paying, and then your court case number. So it's already filled out, and if you had the social, it would be here as well. And then here it's saying if the employee's place of employment is California, you must begin withholding no later than the first pay period that occurs, and then it's asking for an amount. So usually we would put 10 days. That's the usual wording for it. 10 days after the date of, it should say receipt, but you know what? It's not letting me do it. So after the date of receipt. So type in receipt there. I made a boo-boo. Maybe I just put in numbers, so I can't put in, yeah. So I will fix that for you guys by the time you download this. So you can type date of receipt there. You'll be able to do that by the time you download this. And then here, and it says send payment within, and it's usually 7 days of the pay date. And then the employer is not cannot deduct more than 50% of their net pay. So we're just putting 50% there. I will fix this too, don't worry. So when you put in so I put 0.50, and that's how I got the 50%. Okay. And that's all you have to do here, because California is already written. Since we wrote it once on the top, it has filled it in for you here for your convenience. Okay. And then don't worry about this remittance number. Don't worry about that. And then this is for the judge to sign. So that is not anything you end up doing. And then, so yeah, you just keep scrolling. So we're almost at the end. Don't worry about this extra stuff here. Move on. And then here it says, so this is the last part of this form. See, I told you how easy it was if you just follow along. Here it says if you have any questions, who to contact. So you can always put yourself, the one filling out the form, in case the employer has any questions. And then you just put in your phone number. And then just for the employer to be able to contact if they have any questions. And then email, whatever. whatever you want to include. And then here, you just put in your name and your address. Just for the employer to have. Okay. And you can always use the second line if need be. And then same thing here. Put in your name and your contact information. Okay. And let me tell you guys, this is it. This is all you have to do. You're complete. So once you have completed this entire form, so now you're thinking, what do I do now? Okay, so in this form, you don't sign anything. Okay, and the reason there's this spot for the judge's signature, I'm going to explain to you what this is. So once you complete this form, you make 2 copies. One you designate as the original, and then the copies, you write copies on top. And then you're going to obviously print this, make 2 copies, and then go to the court to file. But prior to doing that, you have to have 2 self-addressed stamp envelopes, regular sized envelopes with the stamp on top, one in the middle addressed with your name and address. Second would be another envelope with the address, the name and address of the employer. So the way you would address the employer's envelope, you would say, like, for example, Starbucks, comma, Inc., and then attention payroll department, and then the address. And so what happens is once the court gets this, they'll look at the numbers to see if that's what the judge ordered. And if everything looks legit and that this is the amounts and you didn't write any wrong amounts or different amounts, then the judge will sign this form indicated here. They will sign it. And they will send 1 copy to you and 1 copy to the obligor's employer. So once the employer gets it, they should start garnishing within 7 days, and then you will start getting your checks. However, one side note here, as you can see here where it says State Disbursement Unit, you do need to register your case with the State Disbursement Unit. And you have to do a case registry. When you go to file this, ask the clerk's office where is the case registry form. It's like one little form where you put your name and information, the obligor's name and information, and you file it. So this gets registered with the State Disbursement Unit. So your first amount, the first garnishment that you get paid might take long because the state has to register it. So the state will be like the third party. They will get the check from the obligor's, the person's employer, and then they will send it to you. That is only for them to keep record of who's paying whom and how much. And that's about it, guys. I hope this was informative for you, and like and subscribe so you can see more content like this as I continue to create more content. Thank you, guys. Have a good one. Bye.